Radio Rahim with Eddie Hearn. The tour is done. You've been promoting country to country for the last week, and now I'm going to take your promoter hat off and put your trainer cap on. I know you watch enough boxing to be able to answer these questions as a trainer would. So there's been some talk about both guys slimming down. So I'm going to start with Ruiz. He's a big guy.
Well, I don't think he's slimmed down.
But he said, granted with a little wink and a nudge.
What he said is, I'm a bit bloated from the travel. I'm going to start using that one too. Because I do it. So anyone watching at home, I have not put on any weight. I'm just a little bit bloated from the travel. So look, Ruiz is Ruiz. I don't think it matters whether he comes in, what did he weigh, 265 last time? Whether he weighs 265, 260, 270. Is it going to make a difference? He knows how to fight. He's been doing it since he was 6 years old. He knows how to let his hands go. He's got that speed. So Joshua, on the other hand, he hasn't slimmed down out of choice. He's just training differently. Obviously, he's not in camp yet. He's not doing his strength and conditioning. He's not doing his lifting. But I think this time around, that will desert him a little bit in the build-up, and it will be more focused on the boxing. You know, it's going to be more about the movement, you know, slipping, the defence, getting behind the jab. He's got the strength. That will always be there. And I just think this camp, I think they've gone from the Miller fight, which was more about strength and being a big heavyweight to withstand the pressure and working with him on the inside, to having to be good on your feet, moving in and out of range with Ruiz, and I think that would benefit him if he was lighter. So I think that, I say it's a major focus and something they've said, we must be lighter for the next, but because of the things they're going to be working on, I think that will naturally happen.
Now, your promoter hat back on, you know, Joshua may have said this jokingly, but he said it, that someone asked him if he was going to do a rubber match with Ruiz should he win. He's like, hell no, I'm going to fight a bum. Like,
well, he sees everybody else doing it. So he sees mainly Fury, right? So he looks at that and he says, like, all my career I've fought really the best that's available, or a mandatory or something like that. So where's my easy touch? You know, why did we fight Ruiz? Why didn't we just fight, no disrespect, Otto Warlin or Tom Schwartz or something like that? It's because we wanted to deliver good fights and you want a challenge. And he respects that. He wants that. That's why he's taking this fight now instead of a warm-up fight. Could have made 10 million fighting.
Did you want a warm-up fight?
No. Because one, I don't have any say. Two, like some people say to me, do you think he should have had a warm-up fight? And I would say it might have benefited him having a warm-up fight. But when would you have got the shot? And let's be honest, Rahim, the favourite in this fight is Anthony Joshua. Might be marginal, but he's still a favourite in the fight. If you are favourite in a fight to make this kind of money and to win the unified world heavyweight titles, don't wait, because anything can happen. You might get blocked in time. You might lose the opportunity. You might get injured. Who knows what's going to happen? So you have to take this opportunity while it's there. And Joshua wants a challenge. He feels like he should have beaten Ruiz last time out, so he wants to fight him again.
And with that said, if it goes the way you and Joshua expect and he is victorious, from a promotional standpoint, what is best? Is it good for him to go in there with somebody that everybody, I guess, expects again he can beat? Or does he take a big challenge again?
He will never take easy fights. You know, I don't know what the future holds for Anthony Joshua if he wins this fight. Actually, I'm more certain what the future holds if he loses this fight, which is he will continue to work away. He will continue to try and improve. He will be 24 fights in, having lost to one man, having unified the heavyweight division twice. But if he wins, I don't know what he's going to do. He may retire.
Well, I know you're tired of not hearing Deontay Wilder questions, so let me throw one at you.
Yeah.
He's piped up and said, he wants the winner. He'll Fury step aside.
Joshua press conference week. As we found on May the 28th, he announced the Luis Ortiz fight on Joshua Ruiz press week. We are now on September the 7th. He still has not announced that fight. This is his press week. Now all of a sudden he wants to fight Joshua. Now all of a sudden it's one face, one man, one whatever it is that he always said. Where was he saying that 6 months ago? All of a sudden he didn't care about that. Oh, no, I'm going to not fight Joshua. Now all of a sudden you want that because it's press week. Worry about yourself. Worry about your fight. I'm just so pleased that finally we got the biggest fight in heavyweight boxing and we can focus on one man, which is Andy Ruiz.
Joshua is successful on December 7th. Where does that put him now amongst the top heavyweights? The other two guys are undefeated. Is his record of who he's fought put him as the top? Or
he's the number one heavyweight in the world, but more importantly, he's the biggest star in world boxing. To come back from a defeat like that and regain your world heavyweight titles, would be absolutely epic, and the world will be watching on December the 7th.
And I'm going to make some people's head explode now. I'm going to put your trainer hat back on, and we're going to talk about Logan Paul and KSI. I'm assuming by now, being that you're involved, you've watched the first fight. Yeah. Give me the matchup for the rematch. Who wins it?
One of the reasons I'm doing it is that the first fight was pretty good. Like, it wasn't what I thought it would be, which was two amateurs, windmilling.
Right.
One of the fights on the undercard was the worst fight I've ever seen. That's why I want to put World Championship boxing on the undercard, because the audience for this fight, this is the biggest fight of the year, basically. Sadly, or not sadly, it is.
Probably the most eyeballs.
Exactly. Yeah. So in that respect, we've got to make sure those eyeballs witness what we love about the sport, which is World Championship boxing, which might be Devin Haney, which might be our younger generation of fighters as well. All those eyeballs on those guys. But I said to the guys, KSI, Logan Paul, you've got to turn pro, you've got to respect the code of the sport, no head guards, 10-ounce gloves. The management went mad, but they went, we're up for it. This time someone's going to get knocked out, and it's going to be very, very exciting. Everyone will be there, and all eyes will be on the Staples Center on November 9th.
It's their first fight professionally. It's a pro debut. No one's going to hold you to this on Sunday after the fight. But for now, break down the matchup for me.
The matchup last time was two fit guys, two guys that have worked very hard on the skills, but with limited boxing experience. Logan Paul come out like a train, won the early stages of the fight, and KSI finished very well. I think it probably was a draw. But now we've got number two. And this time around, with the different elements of no head guards and smaller gloves, I believe someone will be knocked out in this fight.
And we just mentioned Devin Haney. His fight's up next week, 7 days from now, in fact. We talked about the idea that maybe he gets in there with Lomachenko if Bob Arum's all right with that. If you can get that fight going.
Let me tell you what will happen, Rahim. Next week, hopefully, Devin Haney will beat Abdullayev. He will then be mandatory for Lomachenko. Lomachenko is waiting for the winner of Commey and Lopez, which will happen in November. So he will fight the winner of that fight in March, April, May. He wants to fight again this year. If Devin Haney wins next week, we will be calling out the name of Lomachenko to make that fight. The whole world will want to see that fight. So hopefully Bob and Lomachenko will accept that challenge before they go into the undisputed fight.
And lastly, to curl back, if Tyson were to step aside, would you take that Wilder fight next?
We'll see. Right now, no value in thinking about Deontay Wilder. Just beat Andy Ruiz on December the 7th.
Radio Rahim with Eddie Hearn. We'll see you December 7th in Saudi Arabia. Good luck.
Cheers, mate.
Always a pleasure to talk to you.